Hey everybody, this is Mr. Warren, and I'm making another video for you to help you with your homework. Today we're going to talk about box diagrams, what they are, and why we use them. A box diagram is a way of visually representing a word problem. Okay, so sometimes it really helps to see a picture to understand the relationship between um, unknowns when we're trying to solve for something. Okay, now in our box diagrams, we usually use the boxes as variables. And what that means is the boxes represent numbers that we don't know yet. We can put numbers in the boxes eventually, but in the beginning, usually we don't know what they are. Okay, so let's do a couple of examples so I can show you what I mean and not draw on our blank canvas. Okay, so let's take a look at this problem. Squints has 12 more baseballs than Benny. Altogether, they have 106 baseballs. How many baseballs does Benny have? Okay, so what we want to do here is we want to identify the important information. Okay, let's read this again. Squints has 12 more baseballs than Benny. Okay, that's pretty important information. Let's go ahead and underline that. And you know, a good hint that this is important is the fact that it gives us a number. Altogether, they have 106 baseballs. That's important. And finally, how many baseballs does Benny have? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to write down our important information. First of all, number one, I'm just going to shorthand here. Squints S has 12 more than Benny B. Okay, that's our first piece of important information. Our second important piece was that together, so I'll say together, Squints and Benny have 106 baseballs. Notice how I'm not writing baseballs and I'm not using, you wouldn't turn a sentence like this into Mr. Blanks, but because we want to do this quickly, I'm using shorthand. And finally, the third piece of information, and it's kind of information, well, it's very important. It's the question. What are we looking for? We are looking for how many baseballs Benny has. That's going to be what we're going to put down as our answer. I'm sure many times in a word problem, you've solved it, you've done it all correctly, and then you answered the wrong answer. Like you might have answered how many baseballs Squints has. Okay, we're interested in how many baseballs Benny has. Okay, so what we want to do here with our box diagram is we're going to draw a picture that visually represents all of this information. And I'm going to shrink it down a little bit and move it out of our way. Okay, so I want to draw a picture that has all of these things represented. Squints having 12 more than Benny, together them having 106, and then you can't really represent this, but we're going to find how many Benny has. Okay, so I'm going to start off with Benny's number of baseballs. That's a bad B. It's a better B. It's not the best B. Okay, so Benny, we don't know how much he has, and this is where the box comes into play. Okay, because we don't know how much he has, we're just going to draw a little box and say that this represents Benny's baseballs. Okay, that's all he has. Squints, however, has, not only does he have as much as Benny, okay, so he has his own box, he also has a little bit more. A little bit more. Now, how much more does he have? He has 12 more baseballs than Benny. Okay, check that off. We just drew a picture that shows Squints having 12 more baseballs than Benny. Okay, these two boxes here are the same size. Squints has 12 more. So we have our first piece of important information drawn. Now, the second important piece of information, together, Squints and Benny have 106 baseballs. Well, the way I'm going to represent that is by just drawing a little bracket here and saying that all of these baseballs, when added together, give me 106 baseballs. And that's it. Step 2 is pretty easy to represent. Okay, Now what we want to do is we want to find how many baseballs Benny has. So we want to find out how many baseballs go in this here box. Why don't we give it some color? Give it a little color. Why not? There we go. Look how much better that looks already. Okay. So altogether, these two guys have 106 baseballs. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we just have these two boxes here, and that way I could split it in half to divide and find out how many baseballs go into each box? Yeah, and we can do that. Let's say that I take 12 baseballs away from Squints. Take them away. What happens? What's going on here? There we go. Okay, so I'm going to take 12 baseballs away from Squints. Two things are going to happen. First of all, Squints and Benny are now going to have the same exact amount of baseballs. Second, if I take 12 away, I have to take 12 away from their total. I should say that again. If I take 12 away from Squints, I have to take 12 away from their total. So now they would have 94 baseballs altogether. Two equal pieces that add up to 94, so I'm going to divide by 2 to find out how much goes in each box. 94 divided by 2 is 47. So that means that 47 baseballs go in each box. So Benny would have 47, and Squints would have 47 plus 12 is 59. And that's, let's see if that adds up. So we've got 59 baseballs, which is Squints, plus 47 baseballs. Well, sure enough, that adds up to equal 106. So to answer our question, finally, how many baseballs does Benny have? He has 47. Box your answer. There you go. Okay, let's get rid of all of this and do another problem. Let's try another one. This one's a little bit different. Okay, Forrest has 4 times as many tennis shoes as Jenny. If Forrest has 12 more tennis shoes than Jenny, how many shoes do they have altogether? Okay, well, let's go through this. Let's circle our important information. Forrest has 4 times. Let's also underline the times here. That's important. He has 4 times as many shoes as Jenny. If Forrest has 12 more, okay, so let's write this down. So first piece of important information, number 1, Forrest, F, has 4 times Jenny's number of shoes. So F is 4 times J. Okay, that's our first piece of important information. Let's find another one. Forrest has 12 more tennis shoes than Jenny. Okay, let's write that down. There we go. Forrest has 12 more than Jenny. Okay. Any more important information? Let's check. If Forrest has 12 more tennis shoes than Jenny, we got that one. How many shoes do they have all together? Okay, well, that's the question. That's our answer. Well, that's the question we need to answer. How many do they have together? Do Forrest and Jenny have together? Okay, so that looks to me to be all the important information. So let's do what we did again. Let's draw a picture that represents all of that information. First of all, Forrest is being compared to Jenny. So I'm going to start with Jenny's number of tennis shoes. Now we don't know how many shoes Jenny has. Okay? So I'm just going to give her a box. She's got a shoe box. That's Jenny's shoe box. The next thing I'm going to do, this is all of Jenny's shoes. Now, I don't know how much that is. I don't know how much Forrest has, but I do know that Forrest has 4 times as much as Jenny. So I'm going to take this box and I'm going to make 4 of them and give them to Forrest. 1, 2, 3, and 4. There we go. Okay, so that takes care of our first piece of information. Can you see here that Forrest clearly has 4 times as many shoes as Jenny? Sure. Okay, so that's taken care of. Let's see, what's the next part? Forrest has 12 more shoes than Jenny. 12 more than Jenny. So where would that be? Now, can you see where Forrest has more shoes than Jenny? They have this box, which is, they both have this amount here, and Forrest has all of this more than Jenny. Okay, and this is equal to 12. These 1, 2, 3 boxes are equal to 12. Okay, I hope there's some wheels turning in your brain right now. If these 3 boxes equal 12, that must mean that each box must have 4 shoes in it. Okay, which means that Forrest has 12 shoes and Jenny has 4. Now the question is, how many shoes do Forrest and Jenny have together? And our answer is going to be 4 times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so together our answer is going to be 4 times 5, which is 20. All right, there we go. And that's it. If you have any questions, please let me know.